Hi, today I want to talk to you about the Midnight Classic and my experience with this charge controller. It's one of the best charge controllers out there. It's fairly expensive in comparison to other charge controllers, such as the Outback Flexmax 80 and the Victron 150 100. But it has an issue. It has a major, I consider it to be a major issue, which is overheating. Now we know that heat is a major problem that affects all electronic components. If they are not cooled properly, then they are going to be destroyed, especially those that have active cooling like the Midnight Classic. Um, so I'm on my third Classic. I've been using Midnight Classic since 2016. This is the first one I owned in 2016, and it got destroyed because it uses three fans, these small fans, and when the fans stop working, it's gonna get hot, and you may not realize that the fans aren't working because it uses three fans like these and one other fan. Let me just show you what those look like in totality. These are the small ones, two small ones, and then there's, let's open this up. Right, so the Classic has two small fans that are down here in the bottom of the Classic, and one larger fan, which is what they call the turbo fan, is in the top. If you see turbo here, so they call it the turbo fan right up here. So this other fan up here. Now, what tends to happen is when the fans go, maybe one of these fans go from down here, one will continue spinning, and you may not realize that the fans aren't working. All three fans aren't working. So what had happened in my case is that these two fans, these don't no longer work, by the way. They are from this and they stopped working. And then the top fan alone was working. And I didn't realize until one day the Classic went blank. And when I open it up and look, this is what I realized. So on the control board, this component got burnt out. So this Classic requires now a control board to work, or maybe the power board as well. I'm not sure, but for sure there's an issue here, right here. There's an issue with this. Now I noticed that some persons with their Classic, they remove this front cover, and the Classic, they use the Classic as this, as is without a cover on it. I don't think that's safe. There's some form of coating over it, but I don't believe that is safe. Um, so what I did, well, before I get to what I did, I just want to show you the Outback. So I have this Outback Flexmax 80, and I just want to do a comparison to show you what it has. So this is the fan, a single fan that is in the Flexmax 80, and it pulls here from bottom up and cools the Flexmax. So if this fan stop working, then you will definitely know, because it's a single fan at the top. So that's one advantage of the Flexmax 80 over the Midnite Classic. This is not a video to say which is better or not. I'm not gonna get into the details. Personally though, I think the Flexmax 8 is stronger, but the Midnite Classic has far more features. Um, to include it some where it alarms if there are some issues sometimes depending on the error, so which is very important, I believe. So if you are not near the unit, like you have a power room somewhere in your house, then you might hear the alarm going off, so you know that something is wrong. So that's just my opinion on which is better as it relates to that. No, so what I did to solve the problem, I did two things. I drilled some holes in the front of the Classic, and I've upgraded the fans. So from the get-go, when I purchased the Classic, I changed the fans to some high RPM fans, and I'm gonna share the link to those in the description. And same size, but higher RPM. So what happens now is that the Classic fan doesn't run all day. So before, it used to just keep running all day. You would hear the fan keep going, like in the background you may hear that is a Classic running, but soon it will stop. So it works and stop. There it goes. It stopped. So I'm gonna show you how I did that, and also the pattern. I'm gonna make the pattern available, so it's gonna be in the description as well. So you can, if you so desire to drill holes in your Classic, you can use this pattern. It's designed to scale, and it fits this here. And let's look at that. Here you see my two Classics that are in use right now, and these are the patterns. These are the holes in it. So this is what it looks like before, and this is what it looks like after. The patterns are pretty much the same, but the one on the left, I used a larger drill bit to bore these holes, so hence it's bigger, but the patterns are pretty much the same. And as I said, I've changed the fans. So, and that's the result. Trying to find a charge control, I would suggest you try and get one that doesn't use a fan. Take that into consideration. Let that be one of your requirement in purchasing a charge controller. They pretty much have similar baseline features. They manage the volts, they manage the charge, they are all MPPT. Some might be slower than some in terms of how they when you see the cloud cover, the voltage and the amperage coming in may change faster in one over the other. Some persons say that the Classic changes faster than the Flexmax. I believe that the Victron changes faster than both Classic and the Flexmax. So I would go for the Victron charge controller if it is that you are using a charge controller in your setup. Now there are many inverters that have charge controller built in, but if you don't need a charge controller in your system, I suggest you go with one that does not have a fan. Based on my experience, that's my main factor behind saying get a charge controller that does not have a fan, and one that supports your load in terms of the amperage. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to share in this one. If you are new to the channel, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.